Arrived in Brussels.
How about you? Is that the first time he's in Europe? No, he's been here. How you doing?
Woo! The tour begins.
Day one. Uneventful. Beautiful weather. Not a cloud in the sky.
What are you hoping for this event?
Well, I hope for hundreds of happy people. Happy people that will learn from both of you.
We have no idea what we're in for, but we know it'll be an adventure.
Yep.
Daniel's trusting us to put us on a train by ourselves. He has no idea. Hopefully someone's there to pick us up at the other side, because Daniel, we couldn't even figure out the platform. We're like, what's a spore?
Maybe I'm gonna rephrase my hope. I just hope you make it to Ghent. We'll take it from there.
Perfect.
It's an honor to have you here.
We hope you feel that way when we're done. It's not a good sign when they're walking towards me. What do we do wrong?
There is no train to Ghent today.
De vorige rit heeft deze trein ongeveer een vertraging van 5.
My name is Tim, and Thomas will also join me. Maybe you've met him, Thomas Vervaat. He was in Antwerp. Okay. I wasn't in Antwerp, but I was.
Hello, Tim.
I was in Lisbon. Hello.
Check out the tops of these trees. We just learned. We just got here to Ghent. We realized that you have to pay to pee.
We're not kidding.
That was different. We enjoy admiring the difference in cultures. Hey.
But we had to pay the pee, and like it's a good thing. And we actually had to borrow money to pee, which is even more embarrassing.
Yes, now we're in debt. Although it's literally another stream of income.
Oh, he's here all week, folks.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cobblestone.
Yeah. This is not the perfect moment to film. It's because there is a car loading and unloading. A bit further. The majority is Toastmasters.
Look at the red lights and green lights telling you what spot is open. That's wild. An open spot. We're learning from Tim how to use the dropper. Put oil on your bread.
Now with some salt and maybe some pepper. Very good.
So Thomas is now here with us. Hello, Thomas.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for both putting this together. The first big concert in the tour.
Yeah, on tonight, but after your keynote, because I will sleep so well with this t-shirt about the tour that I'll be able to hold in my hands.
Like a little cuddle.
Yeah.
They have to decide if they're gonna tear the t-shirt in half or if they're gonna use it for 1 week and then share it.
I want the back.
You want the back?
Yeah, because on the back there are the tour dates.
I'll take the front with the signatures of Darren and Ed.
Okay.
There you go, there you go.
We have almost 200 people coming up tonight.
After pesche.
I don't know if you know the name of the painting, but the premise of the movie is they're tracking down all these treasures that Hitler had.
Count's Castle.
Count's Castle.
Count's Castle.
And what is it known for?
For its torture chamber.
I know it. Oh, okay.
Really?
Let's go take a look at that.
Yeah, a lot of instruments with a lot of details, and the gore and the blood is still around.
And do they
For
have
the protests? The protests!
So tell us about the two protests.
There were two protests in the 700 years history of this castle, 2 times besieged and 2 times besieged by people from Ghent themselves. The first time was by people because the taxes were raised, they were protesting against the count. And the second time by students because they were protesting again because the price of the beer was raised. It was somewhere in the 50s or 60s.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they know their priorities, taxes and beer.
You talked about banners. So this is... What?
The behead.
It's only used for higher social class.
Beheading only higher social class.
Yeah.
What do they use for the lower class?
That's something for us to find out. Sheesh. Yeah, with your ego, your neck wouldn't fit in.
Yikes. Oh, there's a catcher. Plop.
Eye for the detail.
Wat is dat? Nee, no way.
Versions of straight jackets.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's here. And they are filming the group of tourists. And then the guy gets up here to explain. And then he falls backwards. And all the tourists are like, what's happening? And of course it's put in a scene. So he just falls on an inflatable mattress. They have to ask for many months in advance. The graffiti street, and it's allowed to put graffiti on the walls.
And the only street?
Yeah, it's the only street where it's allowed. I'm not saying it's the only street where you can find graffiti, but it's...
The other one is instead, did you see the painting that's...
Yeah, the missing one.
like a copy of the painting, and then some people they cut out the part that was stolen.
Are you
so they
serious?
stole it again. And they stole it again. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't do that deliberately.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the left one,
Yeah.
it's just random people. Nobody knows who did it. Panel. That's one of the 12 that got stolen, I think, in the 1920s.
It's in the Monuments movie.
Yeah.
One of the panels was stolen, and here some of the locals stole the stolen panel. Preparing his slides. I'm going to interview the interviewers.
The making of.
It's about 10 minutes before we start, and of course Ed is up to his tricks, getting people dancing.
1, 2, 3, hit it, DJ! Who knew? All right.
Nice. Nothing like alcohol at a speech.
In terms of being more memorable, is to memorize your opening and your closings. That's one thing I'm going to make a suggestion for you.
Welcome to all members of the Professional Speakers Association, JCI members.
What do you guys know? Have any of you seen what we're doing on Facebook? This tour? Does anyone know? No? Okay, great. Ed, Tate, and myself, Darren and LaCroix, we get invited to speak at a PSA chapter in London on Saturday. Well, that turned into 2 other invitations for 2 other PSA chapters next week. And then people started talking and more connections started being made. We ended up that we're doing 12 cities in 2 weeks all over Europe. So I thought, you know what? Raise your hand if secretly you dreamed that you could someday maybe be a rock star. Come on, just for a moment. So I like to make whatever we do fun, because life is short. So I thought, how cool would it be if we're doing a European tour to have European tour t-shirts? So we made up the Own the Stage European tour. This is the first date right here in Ghent to kick this off. I made up these t-shirts, and you guys, we're gonna have to fight over who gets this. But because they put this together, we want to give them this t-shirt. Give them a round of applause. If you walk away with anything tonight, please thank them, because they did the hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to formally introduce one of my best friends in the world. One of the gentlemen that I studied when I went for the World Championship of Public Speaking back in 2001. He is known as the trainer's trainer. He's a world-class speaker, a world-class coach, and one of my best friends in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my friend, Ed Tate, the 2000 World Champion.
Stories are what? Sticky. So lesson number 2 is that stories are sticky. This is your? Yes. This is you? Yes. This is your? Heart. Yes. This is your? Belly. This is you? Mouth. This is? That's the voice. Give your neighbor a fist bump and say, I've got it. I've got it.
No. We had a splendid evening. And what I loved most about tonight, that even though it was getting late and it was a 3-hour keynote, you guys managed to make it crispy and make it funny at times, and everybody stayed sharp. So that was, for me, was a big plus for tonight. That's what I loved about it.
My biggest takeaway is something like, I've been a teacher myself. I try to teach at elementary students and secondary class, and it's a repetition. And the points that you study and that you teach is to keep repeating them. And in another part of the event or the keynote, repeat them and try to implement them once over again. And that's the one class, that's one session. But try to do it afterwards, and like you told us to do the round robin in the club. So keep emphasizing it after a certain time, after one hour, 1 week, 1 month, and then it makes the impact really strong. That's I'm going to take it away.
I wrote down several pages of information, so I'm wondering which is most important. Of the many abbreviations, which I do not remember all, but
the smelling part of
the smelling part, yeah, definitely the smelling part. I found that a good one, like how to introduce a story within 15 seconds and have several key points, and the smelling part was a big point over there. So that's definitely a takeaway.
Yeah, when I was discussing during the reception, there was a lot of people said, you know, that evaluation part, it looks like a kind of harsh, but they managed not to say you don't have to do it or you don't do that, but try to do that would make you the way bigger impact, a better way to do things instead of don't saying what doesn't work, but says what works. So doing the other way around like a normal teacher would do, and that's a great thing.
I think the evaluations were a good combination of giving content and still doing an evaluation. And for me, like when you interrupted just after 2 seconds, one, it's funny, you immediately give content, and it's not, that person doesn't need to be in front of the audience for minutes. So I think that was very good. I loved showing you guys the city. And that's also part of learning and sharing experiences. And
I love experiencing different cultures, so that was very good. That was very helpful to me.
Well, we appreciate you showing us around, and thank you again for being night number 1 in the European tour.
Woohoo! Now we should put on the t-shirts.